Hello, welcome to another AutoCAD tip courtesy of Cadalyst magazine. Today I'm going to talk a little bit more about 3D. I'm going to talk about how to take your 3D model and convert it into those 2D drawing views because let's face it, that's what we have to ultimately turn in, right? We're not to the point where we can just turn in a 3D model quite yet. So in front of me, I happen to have a 3D model of a dental chair. Hopefully you guys recognize that, right? That would be good. Very simple, very easy. And now I need to create 2D views out of it so I can get it built. All right, so I'm gonna come over to my layout tab and I'm gonna make sure that I'm in the 3D modeling workspace. You can see that right down here. And I'm going to go to the layout tab on my 3D modeling workspace. So this is called model documentation. I just think it is such a great tool and I find that hardly anybody knows about it. Just you and me now are gonna know about it. So I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna select base. From model space, you can see I can also grab it from inventor. From model space, I'm gonna go ahead and just drop that base view into place. All right, hit an enter. And now I can put my other views in. I'll put one over there. There's top view, isometric view, and a side view. Look how easy that is. Easy, easy. When I'm finished, hit an enter. All right, so that looks great. So let me take a look at this. If I click on this base view, and I click on the arrow, you see that I can easily change the scale factor. It's a little big. Let's make them a little bit smaller. Let's change that to 1 to 10. Now, one of the things I love about these model documentation views is that they're smart. And as I go to move that base view around, look at everybody stays all nice and lined up. So much better than just regular standard viewports, which you always end up having to realigning, right, to keep them lined up. So much easier. So this is the parent view, and these are the child views. So basically you can see that anything that I did right there to the parent view affected the child views, kind of like in real life. So if you mess up the parent, usually the children get messed up too, but that's a whole other whole different story, right? All right, so, but I want you to know that you can actually change the children views, the child views independent of the parent. Let me show you how to do that. I'm gonna come up here to this isometric view and you'll see that the tab automatically changed and there's an option called edit view. All right, let's take a look at that. Well, let's say maybe I want this view to be a little bit bigger than the other views. If you take a look at the scale factor, can you see that it says 1 to 10 from parent? All right, well, we're gonna break that. We're gonna make it bigger. Let's change it back to 1 to 8. All right, you can also control the display, the way it looks. Right now it's at hidden lines. Maybe I want shaded with visible lines. And you can have this any way that you want, but just note that the view that I selected looks different, different scale factor, looks completely different from the other views. So you can break that parent-child relationship if you need to. All right, so one other thing I want to make sure that we do, I don't want to make this tip really, really long, but let's do a dimension and then find out what happens if we change the model. All right, so I'm just going to add one really quick dimension on here, make it easy. Let's go to annotate, right? Let's go to dimension. I'm lazy, so I'm going to hit an enter and I'm just going to grab this line right here and pull it down. There's my one dimension. All right, so now back over to the model. And I'm going to make a really big change on the base. You'll notice that I dimensioned the base. I'm going to make a big change on the base. Let's zoom around over here and zoom up. Get a good shot here. I'm going to use my shift key to just grab that one side and I'm going to pull the base out. Make it much, much longer than it was before. That dental chair will definitely not fall over, will it? It's very sturdy now. All right, back over to our layout tab. Let's see what happened. I want you to see that all the views were automatically updated and the dimension was updated too. Think of how much time that will save you. Change it once, change it everywhere. I love that. All right, so if you are a 3D user, you've got to try the model documentation. And if you aren't a 3D user, look at this. You need to start using 3D because it's so easy to create those smart 2D drawing views from the 3D model. All right, give it a try, and I am going to see you back here in a couple of weeks. Thank you for joining me.